Okay, we're picking up where we left off. I fixed the PowerPoint. If you those of you that are using the PowerPoint, that -3/2 became -1/2 on typo. Okay, so I'm going to try to just talk through some of these. If you see that we have a graph showing distance versus time. So one thing to think about is that if it's distance versus time, then there's like miles or feet or something over here and hours over here. So if you're finding the slope, you're taking miles divided by hours or feet divided by seconds. So the slope is a rate. So the slope here is a positive rate. So to describe the speed of the car from A to B, well, it stays the same and it is a positive slope. There's no numbers. So that means the car's speed is steady and it's going in a positive direction. And then from B to C, if you notice, the distance that we are traveling doesn't change. And so the distance doesn't change. If the distance doesn't change, you're not moving. This problem could change if it was modeling speed versus time, and then those have a different answer. But this does not have speed versus time. Always, when they ask you a question regarding the slope, write a fraction and make sure you get the right units. Okay, so Linda was asked to solve a problem in Mr. Stanley's math class. And this is going to be an error analysis question, I think. So looking at this problem, let's see what was happening. Here's the problem. Solve the equation for x. And we have this thing. So we see a distributed property there. And so a lot of us would just multiply to get rid of everything, but they didn't do that. So let's check and see what happens. So step one, checking to see if there's a distributed property. Should be -3/2 x, and -3/2 times 2/9. Did that happen? That's a good question. -3/2 times 2/9 is 6/18, which is 1/3. And so they're both negative. That's good. Right here, we want to combine the x's and move this over here. So if we combine these x's, 2x's minus 1.5 x's is a half x. So that part's right. If we're going to move this over here, we found our error. To move a minus 1/3, you have to add 1/3. So this should be 6/3 instead of 4/3. So that ends up being 2 because it's 6/3 multiplied by 2, you get 4. I think the best way to do this error analysis is to just work out the problem yourself over here and then check it back and show all the steps you would show, make sure that you're doing all of that stuff. So, oh my gosh. I don't need updates in the middle of this. All right. So which was Linda's first error? Okay, so we pretty much answered that question.